Hello Culers, it's Pablo here and welcome back to Barca Universal. And well, we had to make a video today, didn't we? It's the Super League topic that we're going to be discussing today. I'm going to be going through everything you need to know first because I'm sure you guys have so many questions. And then we're going to be releasing some of my own thoughts. And please, as the video goes on, feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I'm sure you guys have so much to say on this crazy situation. It could be the end of the beautiful game as we know it. So let's see what happens here. I'm going to try and discuss everything, give some of my opinions, ensure that you guys are nicely informed about this situation, also talk about what it could mean for Barcelona, what our role is in this. So without any further ado, let's get started. So first of all, of course, the big question is that some of you guys may still have is, what is the Super League? Essentially, the Super League is something that 12 teams have agreed to participate in. It's going to be headed, by the way, by Florentino Perez. He's going to be the president of this, the Real Madrid president. Yep, you heard that correctly. The 12 teams are going to be Chelsea, Manchester City, Arsenal, Tottenham, Liverpool, and Manchester United. So the top 6 in the Premier League. Barcelona, ourselves, Real Madrid, and Atletico de Madrid from La Liga. And then from the Serie A, we've got Juventus, AC Milan, and also Inter Milan. So no Bundesliga clubs as of yet. It looks like they are not going to be entering this tournament. And also no Ligue 1 clubs, so no PSG, which is also very interesting. But essentially the plan for the Super League was to replace the Champions League in short. They want the Premier League to stay, they want La Liga to stay, they want the leagues, the cups, the Copa del Rey to stay, they want everything to stay normal, but they want to introduce a Super League starting from August 2021 and essentially implement midweek games where the best teams in Europe are playing against each other midweek. So what they want is a Premier League game on the weekend, and then you have Man United versus Real Madrid and Barcelona versus Chelsea and all sorts of games midweek. That's their idea. That's what they want to do. Now let's discuss it. Because I think, of course, we all recognise this is an awful and sad idea. It ruins football in so many ways, and it really does demoralise the sport. It's one of the saddest days. It's a mental day also in football history, and I'll be getting onto some of the points as to what it means, what it could do, how horrible it is that the people at the top of the game are ruining football with money. And already, of course, we are seeing UEFA, the UEFA Champions League. Of course, they're furious. Of course, they are. UEFA Champions League. They don't want to have a Champions League with teams like Leeds in it, with Real Sociedad, with even teams like Granada in it. They don't want that. And UEFA, of course, they're making threats now. They're saying, of course, none of the teams going to be in the Champions League next season who have left the Super League. So Chelsea, Barcelona, Real Madrid, you name it. We've all left. We've all left UEFA, guys. We are done out of the Champions League. And our leagues could threaten to kick us out. The players who are playing in the Super League could never play for their nations again in tournaments, especially such as the Euros and the World Cup. And I think some of the ramifications of this are really terrifying. You look at the rest of the La Liga season. Of course, La Liga, they're already furious. You saw Real Betis earlier release a table without any of the top 3 teams who have left for the Super League in it. La Liga have already come out and condemned anyone going to the Super League. But what does it mean? What do we even have to fight for the rest of the season? Because La Liga, we're going to be fighting for something that we may be kicked out of, that we may not even be in. There are so many questions right now. You look over to the Premier League, for example. There's a top 4 race still on. The top 4 places, by the way, in the Premier League get Champions League qualification. You've got teams like Chelsea and Liverpool fighting for that spot, Tottenham as well. But they're not going to be in the Champions League next season. So what are they fighting for? They've already left for the Super League. What's going on there? And you've also got to ask yourself the question, what is actually going to happen in the future? Are these teams really going to be kicked out of their league? Are the Champions League really going to go on with just PSG and Bayern Munich and then teams like Leicester coming in who, of course, deserve it, but you've got other teams, from way lower down the league will be coming in, like Leeds United, who are in 10th right now in the Premier League. Teams like that in the Champions League, will UEFA want that? Surely a compromise would have to be reached. And as I said, the ramifications of this are absolutely awful. For us fans in football, this is rock bottom. This is one of the worst moments that we've seen in football history, if not the worst moment. It's unbelievable. You've seen the fans on Twitter. Everyone's rioting. Everyone's going crazy. It has been one of the biggest footballing occasions of the past 100 years. Let's set it straight. Unbelievable what we're seeing before our eyes now. The no Champions League. What's going to happen to transfers to fans, the money at the top of the game, the lack of relegation in this Super League, the lack of promotion, the lack of competitiveness, being kicked out of leagues, not being able to play for your nations, the money. What is going on? And I think an important point I want to make on the Super League actually is the lack of competitive aspect it will have to it. And what I mean by that is this. The 12 teams who are entering the Super League will not be able to get relegated from it. They have all agreed to get bags and bags of money to enter this Super League. And it essentially means that teams like Leicester, for example, are going to be left out. What we love about the Champions League is you can get to it on merit. You can make the impossible happen. If Leicester finish in the top 4, they get it. Well, now what they've done is this. Teams like Arsenal, finishing mid-table, are tossed into the Europe's elite competition in the Super League. It is awful. They won't be relegated, the league will become completely uncompetitive, and this is just a disaster for world sport and football especially. You've got to say this is a real problem. We've got to hope that a good compromise is reached. And just talking compromises, because you guys will be thinking, well, all this crazy stuff's happening, where do we go from here? Well, that is, of course, a question on all of our lips. You know, we're reading so much news every moment now. There's a new article, a new this, a new that, you know, new breaking news. It is crazy. I've just come here into this video for you guys on Barca Universal to try and give my thoughts on it, because, of course, on the face of it, this looks like a horrible moment for football. It really does. The money at the top of the game, like I've said, taking big clubs out of leagues and Champions League and the biggest leagues in the world, you know, just to serve their own interests is absolutely awful. And what it means for the lower clubs as well is really poor. But as I said, in terms of that compromise, you know, UEFA aren't going to want to go on with the Champions League without Barcelona, Real Madrid, without Messi or Ronaldo at Juventus. I'm telling you that for free. So they're going to have to try and reach a compromise with this new Super League format. That is for sure. Florentino Perez, by the way, the president of the Super League, and Barcelona have agreed to sign up to it with Real Madrid's president as the head of this thing. It's a disgrace. It goes against our values. If Johan Cruyff was watching this, he would be ashamed. And of course, we've got to wait and see what Laporta thinks about all of this. Clearly, he has agreed to go in it, else we wouldn't be in it. But is that just because it was too far gone? I think that has been the case for a few clubs. You look at Chelsea, Man City, perhaps even Barcelona. I think they feel if they don't agree to the Super League, well, what's left? To play the Champions League with mid-table teams from Spain and France and whatnot. That's the other alternative here. So we have got to see what happens to football, guys. It's almost like we've taken a split away from the world. They've torn it in two. And we really are witnessing history in front of our eyes here. You know, UEFA are going to have to see if they can get some sort of reformed Champions League that the Super League teams agree to. Because if not, we could be in massive trouble here, and this really is quite scary times for football. As I said, the ramifications of this are huge. And of course, we already know that the people at the top of football, they just don't care about fans, and this is another great example of it. If you didn't, you know, if you maybe had any doubts about that already, this should seal it. We've seen in the past, you know, holding the Spanish Super Cup in Saudi Arabia. You know, are you kidding me? That's the sort of stuff we've already seen. So we already know full well, guys, that these people at the top of football, they do not care one bit about their fans. And this has been more damning proof of it, breaking off into it with 12 teams in this Super League where it could be uncompetitive, awful, though you don't even have to qualify in your league to a top 4 spot to get into the European competition, leaving the Champions League, perhaps players not being allowed to play for their countries. Oh, goodness me. We've got to wait and see what happens in the future. You know, perhaps getting kicked out of our leagues. What's going to happen for the rest of the La Liga season? How on earth are we going to play the rest of the football matches this season? How odd is it going to be knowing this is on your mind? You know, we won the Copa del Rey final not long ago now. That seems like a distant memory now, doesn't it? With all this crazy news going on. We couldn't even have 24 hours of celebrations for that one. It's sad, it really is, and this is what's happening, guys. I think to end, I will say, look, let's hope that a compromise is reached. Let's hope that the league stays the same, 3 up, 3 down in La Liga and Premier League and whatnot, and that doesn't change, basically. And then in terms of this Champions League, Super League, look, I think something bad is going to happen either way. Let's hope it's not this bad. Let's hope a compromise is reached. Maybe some new clubs in who shouldn't be there, and I will still be upset. Look, whatever happens here, this has been an awful situation. But like I said, let's hope a compromise is reached, and let's hope that some sort of reformed Champions League is used instead of this Super League, and that it doesn't go ahead. You know, will the players boycott it? We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But that's where I'm going to end it. Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. We'll be getting back to you guys in the coming days, probably to do some normal previews. That'll feel really weird, but technically, we still have a La Liga title to fight for. Even though it doesn't feel like it now, football is still on, kind of, so let's see what happens. We're going to keep making the previews, of course, the reviews. Barcelona, ultimately, are going to still be playing their matches, so we'll be here on the channel, but please, leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I want to hear you guys' views on this. I've already seen a few people maybe give arguments as to why this is a good idea. To me, I can't see it. I've listed a few there. There's so much more detail on this. I've just tried to give a nice phase 10-minute video for you guys there, so you have a bit of understanding and that you get my opinion on it. But as I said, you know, inform yourselves, read up about all about this. There's loads and loads of articles, as I said, and so much news going around as to who's doing it, you know, who's in charge, the money involved, what this means for lower clubs and whatnot. There's loads, so check it out. That's where I'll leave this, though. We'll tie it out there, and we'll come back to it very soon. Of course, this isn't going to go away, but I will leave you guys there now. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned something new, and goodbye.